Hello, this is Timothy McGuire. I'm here for my CSE 434 soccer project. So I was just going to give a little demonstration for the assignment. So right now I have the program mostly working. I'm going to be running the manager on my IDE PyCharm. And if you actually want to look real quick at the configuration I have on the IDE, it does pass in this as a command line parameter. I just have it set so that when I press a button, it just automatically executes the command, but you can see the command actually being executed right there. It emulates the terminal for me. So right now it's listening on my local Windows machine, but I also have 3 other end hosts here. Running on here. So I'll show you guys real quick how that works. So right here I have my local IP address and the port that's open. And if I run that, I have my input, which shows here. And I will also run that on these 2 as well. And I will also run a 4th player process so that I can run 2 concurrent games on here. Again, this is also running using this configuration. It is also running the program. It just has it set to that button for my IDE. So I will do registration of all of the players so I can start 2 concurrent games. So I'll do a quick registration of, let's do Tim first. That thing you saw, how it expanded like that, that was my text expander Espanso that I'll be using for this, just to make entering the commands in a little bit faster. So you can see I'll register Joshua on this port and on this IP. Again, just as a little explanation, you can see that it sends the bytes here to the manager address, and then it does a quick, it decodes it into a, it gets a manager response back, and this is what it decoded into. It's a manager response player message. And you can see right here, sending response. So it sent the response, it received the response. It also received these bytes from Joshua, and it received these bytes from Timothy. So there's that. And let me just do Ben, register on that IP. We can see that, yep, status was successful. Player was successfully registered as Ben. And we will also do one for Emily. Awesome. So status of 0 means that it was successful. And actually, I'll do a quick, I'll actually run a quick, I'll wait to do that. Actually, we'll do that now. I'll register a 5th one just so I can do the queries on the games. We'll register him as Jim. There you go. So we have registered 5 players right now. And here's what we'll do. We'll do a start game, and then we'll do Tim1, and it will choose one random player. We could also do 2 random or 3 random players, but we'll do 1. You'll see that it sends the bytes, and it gets back Tim and Jim. Alright, so Tim and Jim are in the same game. You can see that right here it prints out the game, current game state. The way it knows what to do is it gets this start game response, and in response to that, the dealer, Tim, will be sending out a game initialization message, and we'll see that one pop up on here. Yeah, you can see game initialization message received, and this is actually the Python object. I think I didn't implement the string representation of it, so it doesn't look as nice as these other ones here, but you can see it right here. The game initialization message just basically carries game metadata and deck information, so that it can recreate the game on its own. And games are stored locally on each peer. So each peer stores its own version of the game locally, and they send messages to each other to update whenever they take a turn. So anyway, it's just as a tiny demonstration real quick, I'll just show you what a turn would look like. So I can do draw like discard, or I can do draw deck. So I'll just draw from the deck. Alright, so I drew 9 of hearts from the deck. This will not show up yet on here because it actually didn't send me message yet. We'll do play 3. So you can see that it played it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's played it to 3. You can see it went put 9 of hearts and 3. And then it moved that one into here. You can see that the discard changed. So it just did a successful turn. And if we go back to this, yeah, it should have done it. This is odd. It was working before. We'll test it on the other ones. It might have been an issue. The sending, that is quite odd. Okay, well, we'll just continue for now. And here we have Emily, and we also have Josh and Ben, who are currently not in games. So what I'll do is I'll just do start game. We'll do Joshua. We'll do 1. So I'll just grab one random player and start a new game. Yep, we can see here we have Ben and Joshua, and they are playing a game. So we can go to Ben real quick. Here, let's try doing a little. We'll just draw from the discard pile here. You can see that we drew 1 of spades. Oh. Printing is a little bit messed up on this terminal. Again, I don't know why this is happening. This actually happened before. This is not from my code. This seems to just be an issue with the way the terminal is drawing, but I'm just going to do this as a quick example real quick. Yeah, we can actually see that this time it did update, so I think there was actually just a networking issue with this, the Tim and Jim example, but it seems like Josh and Ben worked. You can see that Ben's play here updated. So there's still a little bit big of bugs and kinks, but the messages are still being sent. You can see that the game turn message was received on here. So still a little bit of a few kinks here and there, but yeah, the code is working right now. And we'll just go to Emily since she is the last one. She's not in any game currently. We'll do a quick query games. You can see that it prints out there, and we can do a quick query players. It does seem like I've been having issues with the query games. It was working during the milestone, but I did rearrange a lot of code and I couldn't get it to work this time again, so I think it needs to be updated. But the player query response is now working, or the query player's response is working. You can see that you have Ben, Tim, Joshua, Jim, Emily, and the status is 5. So that's working right now. And let me just see. Okay, so yeah, we have 2 games. And I'll just give a few examples of successful and unsuccessful codes. So I'll just make another player real quick, just to demonstrate the register code not working correctly. So if we have someone named Emily, and we do it on like this particular IP here, and we'll just do it with a random port, it will say player cannot be registered. So you can see that the status is 1. That is an example of the that's a failure code for the manager's response. So we'll just terminate that, and we'll go back to Emily, and we'll just go over real quick some of the other codes. Let me just look up the commands real quick. Here we go. Just make sure I can cover all of them. Alright, so we have, yeah, query players, query game, yep, register. Okay, so we'll just do start game. I'll just give since there's no other, all other players are in a game right now, if we do start game Emily 1, this will give us a failure code. Yep, failed to create a new game. And if we actually go and look on the manager here, we can see here's all of the previous. You can see we actually have a lot of codes. I forgot to go and show these, but yeah, you can see you have like the query players and the we have the query games. Yeah, and actually you can see here with the query games, it is sending the correct response, so I think it's just not printing it out correctly. I may have forgot to implement the printing correctly, or there might be some sort of error that is occurring while it's being transmitted. I'm not sure, but the query players, yeah, you can see that we both have the query players and the other one. Here we go. So here we received the bytes for the manager request player message. So we had start game, username Emily 1, but there's not enough players to start a game with one person, so it sends a response that says that it failed. Yep, here we go, status 1, which means failure. So that is an example there of something that of a failure. We could also do start game. We could do someone just who doesn't even exist. Just do there we go. Just do some random string here, and we'll do 1. This actually might return. Yeah, you can also see this one also failed. This might actually. Yeah, it says not enough players because the first thing it checks is that there's not enough players, but if I actually just do a quick register real quick of someone else, we'll just do register Jim. Get rid of that one. GGG. I don't know. We'll just do something random. We'll do a random port. Yeah, there we go. So yeah. We just have a new random user just generated there, but if we do start game now, and we do, again, a name that just doesn't exist, and we do 1, it'll still fail to create a new game, and this time, yeah, yeah, it says that. Anyway, so it does catch those sort of conditions where it can't show. And then here, we'll just do a quick. We can also do just real quick. We can do end game. We'll just end another game that someone is currently in, just as an example. We should be able to do 1. That is strange. Okay, so end game is a little bit buggy right now. Yeah, I still have a few bugs that are still in the program. I swore this was working earlier, but yeah. Anyway, we'll do deregister. We'll just show deregister real quick. Do Emily. That should be correct, right? Yep. Yep. So deregistered. I actually believe if we do query players now. Yeah, you'll see that now. Yep. There's no Emily left in the players anymore, and we can basically just exit. So yeah, that's currently working right now, and that is pretty much it.